This mob boss lifestyle even shocked Elon Musk. Elon Musk has seen everything. 400 million yachts, moonshot bunkers with biometric vaults, palaces in space built for the apocalypse. But nothing prepared him for this man. Because when Musk heard whispers about a cartel boss with his own zoo, his own air force, and vaults so vast they had to burn cash just to make room, he didn't believe it. Until the intel came in, helicopter pads disguised as swimming pools, surveillance towers masked as ranch homes, a prison so luxurious, it came with a waterfall and a nightclub. This wasn't a criminal. This was a sovereign. And here's the twist, he didn't build a cartel. He built a kingdom. Pablo Escobar wasn't just rich. He made $420 million a week. But it's not the money that shocked Musk. It's what Escobar did with it. This man offered to pay off an entire country's debt to avoid extradition. He ruled cities, bribed presidents, controlled economies. He didn't buy power. He replaced it, and even now, decades after his death, what he left behind still makes billionaires tremble. Because what if the world's most terrifying empire wasn't run by a tech genius, but by a drug lord in a custom-made fortress who made even Elon Musk feel small? And at minute 12, you'll see the moment that changed Musk's mind forever. Elon Musk was building computers at 12, reading space manuals at 15. By 27, he sold his first company for $300 million and started dreaming of Mars. But halfway across the world, another boy was learning a different game. Pablo Escobar wasn't coding. He was stealing gravestones, scraping the names off, and reselling them to funeral homes. He wasn't trying to launch rockets. He was trying to dodge bullets. They both wanted control, but they took opposite paths to get it. Musk studied physics and built digital empires. Escobar studied police patrols and built smuggling routes through jungle paths. Musk courted venture capital. Escobar buried politicians in concrete, and while one became the face of innovation, the other became the face of fear. But here's what no one talks about. They both understood scale. Where Elon built companies to outgrow governments, Pablo built an empire so powerful, he offered to pay Colombia's entire $10 billion debt in exchange for legal immunity. And that wasn't a bluff. At the time, he was making over $400 million a week. Not stock options, not projections. Straight up, untraceable, physical cash. Escobar didn't want to become rich. He wanted to become necessary. Hospitals in his name, neighborhoods he built. Poor families who saw him not as a criminal, but as a protector. Just like Musk wants to be the man who saves humanity, Escobar wanted to be the man who replaced it. And in the streets of Medellin, he almost did. But that's just the beginning. Because while Musk built rockets, Escobar built fortresses. And in Next Up, we go inside one of them. Elon Musk builds gigafactories, robotic marvels, stretching miles across desert landscapes. But Pablo Escobar, he built something even more advanced, a fortress that could disappear. Nestled deep in the Colombian countryside was Hacienda Nápoles, Escobar's private estate from the air. It looked like a paradise. Palm trees, swimming pools, fountains, even life-size dinosaur statues for his kids. But underneath, a war machine disguised as luxury, hidden airstrips camouflaged as roads, tunnels that stretched for miles beneath the compound lined with escape routes, storage vaults, and kill switches. Guards posed as gardeners, snipers dressed as ranchers. Every palm tree could be a lookout. Every guest might be an informant. Compare that to Elon Musk's starbase in Texas. High security, yes, but Escobar's security lethal, silent, untouchable. And it wasn't just the estate. Escobar engineered an entire city to protect him. Medellin wasn't just his hometown, it was his kingdom. Entire neighborhoods were loyal to him. He gave them homes, food, protection. In return, they gave him silence. Even the DEA admitted, there were places we couldn't enter, not because of geography, but because of loyalty. And here's the twist, at the peak of his power, Escobar didn't run. He invited journalists to tour his estate. He showed them the hippos, The airstrip, the luxury. Because he knew the more outrageous it looked, the harder it was to believe. Sound familiar? Just like Musk posts videos of flamethrowers and Mars robots. Escobar flaunted his empire not to hide it, but to make it myth. And yet, infrastructure was only the surface. Next up, we break down the money how Escobar made billions, hid it, and weaponized it against entire governments. Elon Musk's net worth is tracked by the second. Forbes updates it live. Investors dissect his assets, liabilities, stock holdings. But Pablo Escobar's fortune, it was so large, they couldn't count it and only estimate the rot. His accountants wrote off $2.1 billion a year, not in bad investments, in cash eaten by rats, destroyed by mold, or buried and forgotten. He made so much money, banks refused to take it, so he built his own, vaults hidden under farms, cash rooms with oxygen regulators. One safe house had so much weight in paper bills, it cracked the foundation. But Escobar didn't just hoard wealth, he deployed it like a weapon. He coined a philosophy more brutal than any business model, plata o plomo, silver or lead. Take the bribe, or take the bullet. And that wasn't metaphor. Judges, mayors, even presidential aides were handed envelopes or threats. Billions flowed through back channels, fake charities, and offshore companies. But when money didn't work, violence filled the gap. By contrast, Elon Musk uses influence. He tweets, he teases, he negotiates with regulators. Escobar didn't negotiate, he eliminated. When a judge delayed his case, the judge vanished. When journalists exposed him, their papers burned. When his enemies fled, he bought the countries sheltering them. This wasn't business, it was dominion. And here's the crazy part. He didn't need fame. He wasn't doing podcasts or photo shoots. He was rewriting the rules of power in silence, with cash and corpses. But how did he keep it all hidden? Next up, we dive into how Escobar built a system that ran even when he disappeared and why Elon could never match it. Elon Musk is brilliant, but his companies, they need him. Every time he tweets, Tesla stock moves. If he vanished tomorrow, SpaceX, Neuralink, X, would they survive intact? Now imagine this, Pablo Escobar disappeared for 16 months. No public appearance, no voice recordings, no photos. But his empire kept running like clockwork. Drug shipments didn't stop. Politicians were still paid. Enemies still died. How? Because Escobar didn't just build a cartel, he built a system. Code names, rotating couriers, encrypted messages passed through farmers, priests, even school teachers. Each layer knew only their part, nothing more. One DEA agent put it this way: taking down Escobar was like trying to cut smoke with a knife. Every business had a shadow business. Every loyalist had a backup. Even safe houses had decoys with mirrored layouts and fake walls. Compare that to Musk. He runs operations on live streams. He makes billion-dollar deals over social media. His world is loud. Escobar's was invisible by design, and that invisibility made him immortal, even when he was hunted by Colombian commandos, CIA contractors, rival cartels. No one could trace the full network, because Escobar wasn't the center. He was the spark that lit an autonomous machine. Imagine if Tesla could build itself, if SpaceX could launch rockets without engineers. That's what Escobar achieved with mules, smugglers, and mercenaries. And here's the mind-bender. He designed this system before the internet. No AI, no Jeep, no blockchain, just fear, loyalty, and design thinking Elon would admire if it wasn't built for blood. But Escobar didn't stop there. Next up, we expose how he engineered something even more terrifying, a legacy that made him a god. Elon Musk has fans, millions. Some wear his merch, some tattoo his rockets. Some even call him the real-life Tony Stark. But Pablo Escobar, he has devotees. In Medellin, his face is painted on walls not as a warning, but as a blessing. His name is whispered during prayers by those he once fed. Even now, decades after his death, Children are named Pablo in his honor. This wasn't fame, this was worship. While Elon plays to algorithms, Escobar rewrote folklore. He handed out turkeys during Christmas, paid for funerals, built soccer fields. And to the people who had nothing, he gave something more powerful than charity hope. That's why no one snitched. That's why entire neighborhoods lied to protect him. Because for them, Escobar didn't represent crime. He represented power that listened. And he knew it. He weaponized it. Photos of him playing soccer with kids were as calculated as Elon's live streams with flamethrowers. One manipulated markets, the other manipulated memory. But here's the difference: Musk wants to be remembered for saving humanity. Escobar made sure he'd never be forgotten by it. One builds on code, the other built on blood. And still Elon's brand is vulnerable, tied to shareholders, markets, media cycles. Escobar's brand, untouchable. Why? Because it wasn't built through headlines. It was built through fear, sealed in vaults, and tattooed into the psyche of a nation. But Escobar's charisma wasn't his final weapon. In Next Up, we reveal how he pushed further, how he didn't just build loyalty, he conquered silence. Using fear as a communication network, no billionaire has ever rivaled. Elon Musk controls attention. He tweets. The world reacts. One meme can shift markets. One sentence can cause a national debate. But Pablo Escobar, he didn't need Twitter. He controlled silence. In his world, a missing word was louder than a headline. No articles, no leaks, no betrayals. Because those who spoke disappeared. Entire blocks of Medellin operated like black sites. No cameras, no witnesses, just eyes that watched and mouths that never moved. Journalists were warned. Judges were warned. Even politicians whispered in private because walls had ears. And Escobar had reach. He didn't bribe to protect secrets. He engineered a culture where secrets were survival. Compare that to Musk's world. Leaks plague his companies. Ex-employees talk. Lawsuits fly. Even private texts make headlines. Escobar had none of that. Not because he had better lawyers, because he made fear more effective than NDAs. Every message was encrypted, not by code, but by consequence. His lieutenants didn't ask questions. They didn't need to. The rules were simple: obey or vanish. Even rival cartels refused to say his name out loud. Because in Colombia, Escobar wasn't just a man, he was gravity, unseen but inescapable. And here's the kicker: this network of silenced loyalty through terror worked better than any AI system, any algorithm, any quantum encryption Musk could ever invent. Because silence isn't just absence, it's a signal, and Escobar made sure it always pointed back to him. But even silence has limits. In Next Up, we uncover the most chilling truth of all. Escobar didn't just outlive his enemies, he built a system that still breathes, even in death. When Elon Musk dies, the world will notice. Obituaries, tributes, headlines, but also stocks may crash. Companies could stall, vision might fracture. But when Pablo Escobar died, his empire didn't blink. December 2nd, 1993, a rooftop in Medellin. Gunshots, blood, silence. The king was gone, and yet nothing stopped moving. The cocaine kept flowing. The bribes still cleared. The lieutenants stayed in place. Safe houses were still funded. Kill orders still executed. Why? Because Escobar anticipated his own extinction. He didn't build a cartel around himself. He built infrastructure, a system designed to outlive its creator. Buried ledgers, offshore trusts, rogue bankers with coded instructions, entire villages trained to operate without communication. And the wildest part, it still works today. Colombian construction crews still dig up Escobar's vaults, rotting stacks of $100 bills, gold-plated pistols, blueprints, maps, names. His reach, even now, stretches through bloodlines, alliances, and silence. By contrast, if Musk disappeared tomorrow, could his vision survive untouched? Possibly, but not seamlessly. Escobar's did, because his legacy wasn't written in code, it was written in fear. Loyalty, and systems thinking so brutal. It made even AI look fragile. And here's what allegedly shook Elon: not the money, not the murder, but the machine. A criminal system that didn't just outlive its architect, it thrives without him. And in the payoff, you'll understand why Musk, someone who builds for the future, looked into the painting and saw a shadow he couldn't escape. Elon Musk builds for the future: reusable rockets, electric fleets, AI symbiosis. He talks of colonizing Mars, of saving humanity, of becoming more than human. But when he learned about Pablo Escobar, what shook him wasn't the violence. It wasn't the billions. It was the realization that Escobar didn't need to build a future. He bent the present. While Musk raises capital, Escobar raised nations. While Musk fights regulators, Escobar replaced them. While Musk searches for truth in data, Escobar rewrote truth itself with bullets, cash, and silence. And here's the paradox: Musk believes in transparency, innovation, evolution. Escobar believed in secrecy, domination, fear. And yet one created companies, the other created a civilization. Escobar's empire didn't collapse with him. It evolved. It adapted. It whispered into the next generation, into cartels that now use drones. Crypto, AI, all technologies Musk champions. He didn't inspire them. Escobar prefigured them. And maybe that's what scared Musk the most. Because in a world where money buys everything, Escobar proved you don't need permission to rule. You just need the nerve to take it. So now, we leave you with one question in a battle between the visionary and the warlord. Who truly shaped the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if there's another figure whose empire rivals Escobar's, let us know who we should expose next.